Good evening, Rahul. What are you thinking?
My mind is full of boxes. Today during the maths class, my teacher taught us a new method of multiplying 4-digit numbers called
Oh, you mean that lattice method?
Exactly, it is the lattice method. Though it was looking like a game, I make some mistakes.
I remember Guru Drona teaching the princess this method. Today, we shall learn about lattice method of multiplication.
Children, we shall learn one more method of multiplying 4-digit number with a 1-digit number. This method is called as lattice method. The above arrangement of boxes is called as lattice. Now to multiply 3167 by 5, we have to write each digit of 3167 above each box and 5 on the left. Now multiply the digit in thousands place with 5. Here it is 3 multiplied by 5. We get 15. Now we have to write 15 on the first box of the lattice, that is, tens digit above the diagonal and units digit below the diagonal. So we write 1 above the diagonal and 5 below the diagonal. Now multiply the digit in hundreds place with 5. Here it is 1 multiplied by 5. We get 5. But take the number as 05. Now we have to write 05 on the second box of the lattice, that is tens digit above the diagonal and units digit below the diagonal. So we write 0 above the diagonal and 5 below the diagonal. Now multiply the digit in tens place with 5. Here it is 6 multiplied by 5. We get 30. Now we have to write 30 on the third box of the lattice, that is tens digit above the diagonal and units digit below the diagonal. So we write 3 above the diagonal and 0 below the diagonal. Now multiply the digit in ones place with 5. Here it is 7 multiplied by 5. We get 35. Now we have to write 35 on the last box of the lattice, that is tens digit above the diagonal and units digit below the diagonal. So we write 3 above the diagonal and 5 below the diagonal. Now we have to add the numbers along the diagonals from right side of the lattice. So the first number along the diagonal is 5. Now the numbers along the next diagonal is 3 and 0. Adding them we get 3. Now the numbers along the next diagonal is 3 and 5. Adding them we get 8. Now the numbers along the next diagonal is 0 and 5. Adding them we get 5. Now the number along the left of the diagonal is 1. Now the product of 3167 and 5 is 15,835. Children, now let us multiply 6,379 by 8. First we write the number on top of the lattice and 8 on the left. Now we multiply 6 and 8 and write 48 in the first box. Now multiplying 3 and 8 we get 24. Write this in the second box. Now we multiply 7 and 8 and write 56 in third box. Similarly, multiplying 9 and 8 we get 72 and write it in the last box. Now we start to add numbers along the diagonal. The first number is 2. So write 2 as it is. Now the numbers along the next diagonal are 6 and 7. When we add, we get 13 tens, but we cannot write 13 down. So we group it as 100 3 tens and write down 3 and carry 1 to the next diagonal. So now the numbers along the next diagonal are 1, 5 and 4. Adding them, we get 10 hundreds. Again, we cannot write 10. So regrouping, we get 1000 and 0 hundreds. So write 0 and carry 1 to next diagonal. So now the numbers along the next diagonal are 1, 2, 8. Adding, we get 11 thousands. Again, regrouping, we get 1 10,000, 1,000. So write 1 and carry 1 to next diagonal. Now the numbers left along the diagonal are 4 and 1. Add them and write it down. So it is 5. Hence the product of 6,379 and 8 is 51,032. Now Sadev, come and try this multiplication. Multiply 5,673 by 6.
First we write the number on top of the lattice and 6 on the left. Now multiplying 5 and 6, I get 30 right in the first box. Next multiplying 6 and 6, I get 36. So write down 36 in the second box. Next multiplying 7 and 6, I get 42. So write down 42 in the third box. Next multiplying 3 and 6, I get 18. So write down 18 in the last box. Now add numbers along the diagonal. The first number along the diagonal is 8. So write down 8. Next numbers along the diagonal are 1, 2, adding we get 3. Next numbers along the diagonal are 6, 4. Adding we get 10. So we regroup and write 0 down and carry 1 to next diagonal. The next numbers along the next diagonal are 1, 3, 0. Adding, I get 4. The left out number along the next diagonal is 3. So write down 3. So the product is 34,038.
This is called the lattice method of multiplication. Now that you have learnt different methods of multiplication, you will never face any problem with multiplication in the future.
In this lesson, the princess learned lattice method of multiplication.